want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below.
I just got married and I think I found the term that I'm going to use to refer to my now spouse. For context, I do not like the term husband because it comes from the words house and occupier or tiller of the soil or master. So it basically just means master of the house, controller of the house. And I also don't love spouse because it's just not a word I've used a lot. It doesn't feel natural to me, but also it sounds so generic. Partner is always great, but it's not always marriage specific, and sometimes you have to make it clear just for legal reasons whether or not you're married to someone. And then beyond that, there really aren't any options. Or so I thought. While I was looking up the word husband, I also looked up the etymology of the word wife. And I guess it really was just the Old English word for woman. But that term was often used in the specific context of referring to a married woman in relation to her spouse. But apparently, there is a male equivalent to the word wife, and it's not husband.
So the terminology that she ended up coming with is word and wear for husband and wife. And she also went on to state in the article that her husband is completely fine with her feminist views. He completely supports them and all these other types of things. And she is completely shocked of some of the comments because she wanted to say that they were quite homophobic and all these other. Like I said, that word is getting thrown around so often. It's crazy. It's ridiculously crazy. If a guy doesn't like, if he spots something that looks a little bit off and he says something about it, automatically people want to deem that dude as homophobic. That's not what that is. That's not what that is at all. Especially we're talking about a dude who was married to. That's not what it is. But again, it is dealing with the branding, the brainwashing, and the fact that the definitions of things are the words are getting used so frequently, they're losing their definition. So now they're just be generally used towards everything. It's going to get to the point where people are going to say, "Oh, you don't like another type of restaurant or food? You're homophobic." That's what's going to happen. It's going to be so generally used that people are going to use it for every single thing. And it's not going to make any type of sense. The only thing that guys are basically stating is the fact that, yo, the term husband, like, it's not even that deep. Like, who's even really looking at it that deep? Nobody's looking at the old definition of what it is in all these other types of things. It's like husband, this is your husband. This is your guy. This is the person that you got married. That's how people are looking at it as. That's it. Nobody's diving deep. Let me get the etymology. Let me break down the word and all this. Ain't nobody doing that. Do you think guys are about to, yeah, let me break down the terminology of wife and woman and all these. Let me switch up how it is that I no. I'm still gonna be using either female, you got what terminology you got out here for women? Titles. Female, woman, wife, girlfriend, like I'm going to be using those terms. I don't care how society is. I'm going to be using those terms. Don't nobody got time for that. Like I said, those terms will basically, I mean, if push comes to shove, however society moves, the moment in time that people of my generation are pretty much gone, then hey, guess what? Y'all got free reign to use whatever terminology that you want. As long as I'm still standing, many other people of my generation are still standing, we're going to use the terminology that we want to sit up there and use. That just is what it is. Like this right here is ridiculous. And also, like I said, it's always like the younger generation is doing this. She's 26. So she's been raised with certain ideologies in different things. Like I said, you can clearly see it. You can clearly see it. And like I said, this society is something else. Some people will probably say, oh, well, it's her marriage and her husband supports it. So I don't see what the problem is or what the big deal is. Because you're not looking at the larger scope. The problem with it is she's on a platform and she more than likely has people like usually videos like this, they'll get viewed up, 500,000 to like 1 million times. That's a lot of people who sat up there and seen it. And that's a lot of young women who sat up there and seen that as well. And what's going to put in their mind is like, oh, well, if she doesn't like it, then and there's a problem with it, then I don't like it either. So I'm going to do exactly what it is that she's doing because she's successful in her beliefs. Because at the end of the day, guess what? She got a husband, right? She got the thing that pretty much all women want. They want that happy ending. They want the man of their dreams, their husband, all this other type of stuff. She has that. So you're going to have a lot of women and a lot of young women try to switch up to her ideology because they feel that if she has the ideology and she walks in that, talks like that, and this is what she does, and she still ended up with a husband, they can do the exact same thing. And that's a false equivalent. It's not going to happen. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Just because it works for somebody else don't mean it's going to sit up there and work for you. Just because I, as a dude, decide to try to do a Arnold routine or Ronald Coleman routine when it comes to like workouts and weightlifting, that don't mean I'm going to sit up there and look like them. I don't have the genetics. I don't have the body type. I'm not taking whatever it is that they may be taking or eating or whatever it is. That's not going to happen for me. Right? So it would be stupid of me to think that the same thing that works for this person is going to automatically work for me. It's not. But you can't tell a lot of women that. And a lot of women follow the leadership of other women. So whatever it is that other women say and do, women are going to sit up there and follow that. They're not going to, in a sense, look towards what men identify as attractive in a sense or whatever it is. They're going to look towards other women. And that's where a lot of women go wrong. And I promise you, you're going to have a lot of women that are going to follow this woman's every single word. They're going to subscribe to her TikTok, look at her videos, start to follow a lot of her ideology and her views, and figure that at the end of the day, they're going to sit up there and get the man that they're looking for. And they're going to be sorely mistaken. 100%, they're going to be sorely mistaken. But this is social media. This is the society that we live in. People want likes and views for, taking these, shot in the dark opinions and then having large platforms and having, other people follow these same opinions. It's 1,000% ridiculous. This is not anything that we need young women out here directly listening to and feeling that this is the 100% to go at every single thing. It's just not. It's not 100%. It's not. And as I stated before, if that was the case, if this is 100% the case on how it is and how she feels, then I wonder if she took his last name. If this is the case, did you keep your father or the last name that your mother has? Because usually the last name of any family comes directly from the man. So yet again, like how far are people really willing to take all of this? Because it can get quite deep and quite stupid real quick. Like I said, yo, this society is just it's something else, man. I feel sorry for a lot of the young men that have to grow up and deal with a lot of these women out here because it's gonna be something. It's gonna be some choppy waters in order to potentially find a suitable date, fiance, and wife.